it's finally here. Ever since your last ride in the fall, you've been thinking of getting back out on the road in the spring, and it's now here, and we're going to try and enjoy it as much as we possibly can and extend our riding season as long as possible. But there are some things about getting out for the first time that you've got to remember, and one of those is the cold. And on this particular day, it's 7 degrees out, but the wind chill at 90 kilometers an hour makes it even worse. So let's take a look at some of the other things that you have to be assured of as you go through in preparing yourself for the springtime. And one of those things, the warning sign, is the possible road conditions, broken asphalt, and that usually occurs along the edges or in that wheel track where we do our riding. Another thing that happens is that road that you were on last year, well, it's funny what frost can do to roads. It can make some big changes in them, put ruts, holes, and give you some experiences you may not have thought you were going to get. And like I said, winter has a way of taking a toll on roads during that long sleet that we have. And look at this road here. In the middle of the road and in our path, we have lost a lot of the asphalt that was there, and that's what frost action can do, plus snow plows. And as we go along, I'm going to show you a couple more things here of some of the things that you may want to make sure you look at. And taking a look here, we've got 3 targets. We've got potholes on the right side, potholes on the left side, and the edge of the asphalt is worn away. So those are some of the things you have to watch for. And one of the best things maybe to do in this particular type of year is if you're in a group ride, ride single file. Now there's one of those funny looking signs that usually indicates this: construction ahead, and as soon as spring starts, construction usually starts, and that can be a real problem for us. So congratulations to you on this time of the year on being a PhD or a pothole driver. Now as you're riding along, sometimes you think you got a great road, you go around a corner, and all of a sudden the road seems to change, drastically. So what we have to do now is slow down and assess the road. What's it going to be like? What am I doing? And how big are those cracks? And those cracks can cause an awful lot of different things, as you can see here, especially funky emergency braking. So it's best to slow down as you enter someplace like this. Now, going into a town or a city, wastewater covers. They can be slippery when wet, slippery when cold, can be raised or sunken, and in early spring, there's an awful lot of broken asphalt that can be around from those. So those are some of the things that we as riders need to watch out for. So as we're going through here, we're heading toward a roundabout, which by the way is one of my favorite things instead of an intersection. But you can see what kind of a mess we've got, especially fine silt, dirt on the riding track, which reduces traction. And when it gets wet, it gets even worse. So here we're coming into the roundabout. Start scanning. Scanning all over what's coming in. But one of the things you're also scanning for is this stuff right here. Gravel, sand, silt, again, create slippery conditions. On the left-hand side, you can see there's been a pothole just recently fixed, which again would be in our place. So make sure you do not lean very far as you're going through there. And I'll tell you why a little bit later on. So we've got construction mud, rock and sandy debris. It's dangerous to motorcyclists, bikers, and pedestrians. And a lot of this happens, especially in the springtime. So I want to show you why you have to be careful when you lean into corners. And this is just a typical intersection that I ran into the other day. And you'll notice I'm coming over into the blocking position. I want to keep vehicles away from me, but I ran into a problem, and complacency created this. I looked too long to my left because I had vehicles there. I missed this stuff on the road, and guess where my bike and I ended up? On the side over here. So now I have a new bike to ride for a while, and there's plenty of options available, such as crutches, and this is where I am right now. My complacency, where I've tried to teach people to learn from the mistakes of others, because you're probably not going to live long enough to make them all yourself. So, having said that, is your bike ready? Are you ready? Are you a rusty rider? Cold roads and cold tires is a loss of traction. So is silt, salt, residue, and dirty roads. The road conditions change. Vehicle drivers aren't expecting you out there right now. And the last thing there, complacency. And that was the issue that I had, thinking that I knew everything. Well, guess what? I need to ride smart as part of my ride skill, ride smart, and ride safe. So it can happen to anybody. Be careful out there, especially at the beginning.